Good afternoon. Thank you very much, PSS Greytech, for giving me this opportunity to share the experience. Where's the control, remote control? Thank you. So, BIM. When we hear this word, what do we think about? A new project, probably. New construction site, new building, right? Have a look around. Think how many components are there in this room. How many light sources, for instance? Where's the technical information about each element of this room? Where is it? And today, I'd like to share our experience, how to implement BIM into the existing building. I selected two cases. Our office in Vilnius, Agakat office, and a furniture factory in Lithuania as well, in Klaipėda. Different goals for each site, how we profile these assets. Operation is very important, maintenance is very important, how quickly something is fixed if something goes is broken. Also, what is important is maintenance, office equipment, computer management. This is as far as Agakat office is concerned. But in furniture factory, it's completely different. It's about production processes and production equipment, how to monitor the operation of production equipment, the lifespan, life cycle. So, digital inventory process was split into 6 stages, and the first stage was 3D laser scanning. This is our office layout plan, red dots here and black dots there with the furniture factory. Our area is 340 meters for office plan. Furniture factory more than 4,000 square meters. Each dot shows the location of a scanner. We had 53 stations in the office and 74 in the factory. Why do I compare the area and the number of stations? Because the rooms are small in the office, so it's important to move from room to room to make sure that data from one station correspond to the data from another station. Duration: 5 hours for office, 1.5 days for the factory. Then we had to clean the data and do the data registration. It was very interesting to see how AI is doing this, how they are comparing different points and combine everything into one cloud, point cloud. I skipped a slide, sorry. So, initial data volume for the office, about 60 gigabytes, about 80 gigs for the factory. After data cleaning, we reduced it by the factor of 10, about 6 gigs and about 8 gigs. How long did it take? 4 hours for the office, 1 day, 1 working day for the factory. Then, stage 3, 3D modeling. We wanted to create a minimal 3D model. It was important for us to have rooms so that later, when we have the inventory process underway, we will know where to put what. 1 day it took for the office, 3 days for the factory. Because you understand the area is much bigger, and we also modeled construction items such as columns, ventilation, firefighting system. we used the minimum load, 100, 200, depending on the element itself. Then, stage number 4, it's the 3D inventory process itself. First, it implies visual identification. We use 3D models, different colors, and a different level of detail. First, we used simple geometric shapes, such as spheres, cubes. If we could find a model on the internet, we downloaded them and used them in our inventory process. They were color coding. This is for production equipment, for instance. Then, at the next stage, we focused on non-visual identification, and we used the methodology contained in... What is going on? Something's not right. So we used the ISO 81346 methodology. We carried out identification and classification for each element. So, this white sphere here and yellow sphere, we know that this is lightning here, a light source, and this is a diffuser. So inventory for the office took 2 days, and for the factory 4 days. You can see why. How many elements are there? Too many light sources and sewing machines. We had to go through the point cloud and to see which element is where. So after we built a model and used Revit for it, what's next? That was the question. Where do we put these data? The goal was to establish an environment which would be accessible for each employee, so that everything would be accessible for everyone, universally accessible, the so-called common data environment. And for this purpose, we established BIMAXON platform with the goal of sharing the data between people, between devices, or between people and devices, or from software to people, or from people to software. This is how the interface looks like. That's a web portal, and this is how model in Autodesk Navisworks looks like. You can see the configuration for each office. All the configuration took 2 days. For the factory, 3 working days. What does it mean, configuration? You probably know what COBie standard is. That's information collection for each purpose, for each use, and that's something like COBie. Tables with all the separate elements. And the final stage, data exchange between different systems. I cannot show you the results about the furniture factory, the info about furniture factory. And for our business processes, we also use SharePoint Online, Microsoft product. And as for data integration and data exchange between different platforms, BIMAXON, we didn't do anything particularly. We used Microsoft Flow, a part of Microsoft Office family, that helps you to integrate the data between different systems. BIMAXON and SharePoint can be done through Microsoft Flow, Microsoft Project, or other different systems. Since we are the company that deals with innovations, it's important for us to use cutting-edge technologies. That is why we established direct integration with Microsoft HoloLens. And when you use the the AR glasses, you see virtual holograms showing the data that are being fed from the system in real time. Information, drawings, etc. And if a certain element is added into the system, it is registered, it becomes unique, and it has a unique barcode or QR code. You can print it, stick it to the equipment, and then scan it with your mobile phone or with a tablet and get all the info you need. To sum up, the entire process for the office took about 50 working hours, and furniture factory about 100 working hours. This is it. Thank you for having me.